They told you art was about culture and beauty. Wrong. It's a billion-dollar tax scheme. And billionaires are cashing in while you're left in the dark. You invest in stocks, get slammed with 20 to 37% taxes. They buy a painting and get money back from the government. This isn't some secret from Sotheby's. It's a financial loophole. They will never teach you in business school. In this video, I'll break down how the ultra-rich turn art into wealth, power, and tax-free millions, and how you can start with as little as $1,000. Here's what most people don't know. Art is actually one of the safest places the rich park their money. Think of investments like the Avengers. Each one has strengths, but also serious weaknesses. Crypto, it's like the Hulk. When things are good, it's unstoppable. But when it turns, it crashes hard. You can lose 80% in a single year. Art, on the other hand, is more like Captain America. Consistent, reliable, and time-tested. In fact, over the last 20 years, the top-performing artworks have brought in around 9% profit every single year. That's more than the U.S. stock market. Even contemporary art, which includes living artists, has averaged 7.5% a year since 1985. While most people are earning 3% interest in the bank, the wealthy are watching their art go up in value year after year. Art doesn't crash like crypto. It doesn't leave a paper trail like stocks, and it holds both emotional and financial value in a way that's hard to measure and even harder to tax. That's why billionaires love it. Not because it's beautiful, but because it's powerful. Let's talk about something most people don't realize. Price is just perception. An artwork is worth whatever someone's willing to pay for it, which means the value can be completely manipulated behind closed doors. Think that $500,000 painting is fairly priced. Billionaires know better. In the art world, you can literally manufacture value out of thin air. Here's how it works. You buy a painting for $100,000 through one company. Your friend buys a similar piece by the same artist for $300,000 through another, a third guy. $500,000, all part of the plan. Now, an appraiser comes in. They look at the market history these paintings are selling for, $300,000 to $500,000. That original $100,000 piece just got revalued at $400,000 on paper. It's not magic. It's market manipulation done legally. Sure, the IRS watches for this kind of thing, but these people know exactly how to play the game and stay within the rules. Here's the trick, and it's almost too smart. Buy a painting for $2 million, get it appraised at $10 million, donate it to a museum. Now, take a massive tax deduction based on the new appraised value and build your public image while you're at it. See, while you're paying 20 to 37% tax on your income, billionaires are getting paid by the government for buying art. Here's how they buy a painting for $1 million. A year later, they donate it and claim a $10 million value. That's up to $3.7 million back in tax deductions. They basically paid $630,000 for $1 million painting, and the rest funded by taxpayers. But it doesn't stop there. That donation gets them a seat on the museum's board of trustees. And who else is on that board? Senators, media executives, billionaire CEOs. The kind of people you can't even email without a gatekeeper. Now they're rubbing shoulders at the same gallery opening. You spend years trying to network up. They donate one painting and buy their way into the room where real power moves happen. Want a real example? David Koch donated $100 million to renovate a theater in New York. He got huge tax breaks. The theater was renamed after him. And suddenly he's a beloved philanthropist. Meanwhile, his oil company kept getting fined for pollution. But no one remembers that part. Here's another loophole: no capital gains taxes. Unlike stocks or property, art doesn't get taxed until it's sold. And if it's never sold, no taxes ever. Billionaires put entire collections into family trusts or foundations. On paper, they don't own the art anymore, but they still control it. It gets passed down to kids and grandkids, growing in value for decades, completely tax-free. Take J. Paul Getty's 1953 family trust. Today, it controls $6.9 billion in assets, including massive art collections. Over 70 years, the trust avoided billions in capital gains taxes, while heirs kept full control. While you're selling assets and handing a chunk to the IRS, they're quietly building generational wealth behind velvet ropes. But they're not stacking cash, they're hiding fortunes in frames. Art is the new Swiss bank account. Billionaires don't just store their art at home. They use free ports, ultra-secure warehouses in places like Geneva, Singapore, and New York. These zones exist in legal limbo. No customs, no taxes, no public records. It's invisible money stored as canvas. So Geneva's free port alone holds over $100 billion worth of art. That's more than most countries' GDP. Inside, they can buy, sell, or trade completely tax-free, no questions asked. Your money sits in a tax bank account. Theirs hides in climate-controlled vaults untouched by any government. Sure, after the Panama Papers, some rules tightened. But let's be honest, they'll always stay one step ahead. And when a system is this private, this unregulated, you can guess what happens next. Art becomes the perfect playground for money laundering. While you're tracking every dollar you make, some billionaires are cleaning dirty money through art, and there's no paper trail to stop them. Here's how it works. Buy a painting with untraceable cash from a private collector. Then sell it through a reputable gallery or auction house. Now that money, it's clean with no questions asked. These private deals often happen behind closed doors with no records. From oligarchs to drug cartels, this loophole has made headlines again and again. And while you're uploading tax docs to stay compliant, they're quietly moving millions around far outside the system. To be fair, most transactions, especially at top-tier auction houses, are legal and closely monitored. But those who know the edges of the system, they'll always find the cracks. So how can you start playing the same game even without millions? Here's how to get started with as little as $1,000. Buy shares in art funds through platforms like Masterworks. Invest in limited edition prints by well-known artists. Explore NFT marketplaces. You can start with just $100. You don't need a Picasso. Start small, learn the market, and step into a system that was never built for you but can still benefit you. Now, you see what they never teach in business school, that $100 million art purchase, it's a $37 million tax write-off. The museum donation, a ticket to the political elite. Yeah, that charity, reputation insurance. The $67 billion art market isn't about beauty. It's about control. You've been playing by the rules they gave you. They've been playing by the ones they wrote. But now you know, and that changes everything. Drop a comment. Ready to test art investing or still trusting your 3% savings account?